Slowly start the story. Again, my name is Rojno Folia. I'm head of digital risk protection. I work and live in Singapore and currently leading here the digital risk protection department. And what we do, we protect our clients. We investigate some cyber crimes regarding to scam and clones in social media. It's one of the type of the attacks which I will tell you about today. A few words about Group IB, which most of them I think know. We started 17 years ago. One second, please. We started 17 years ago as a cybercrime investigation company. And through the years, we developed a lot of products to not only to investigate, but to prevent these cyber crimes, because we got a lot of data, we got a lot of intelligence, a lot of information about how these cyber crimes are happening, what are the tools of the attackers. And basically what we are observing and researching, the fraud is often an entry point to these cyber crimes. That includes phishing, which is mostly the most, I think, the most popular way of attacking organization through mail. And what's important, the same guys standing behind this. These are not script kiddies. These are financially motivated hackers, which have finances, infrastructure. They have people. They have ability to grow and to absorb new technologies. So we are protecting our clients comprehensively in the cyber space from all type of threats. Through the years, we were noted by Interpol, Gartner, Forrester. We are now official partners of Europol and Interpol. We just this night we got, I made a mistake, 18 cybersecurity excellence awards as winners. That last year in 2020 for digital risk protection, we were awarded by Frost & Sullivan Excellence First Award. So this shows how deep we are in this field. We are expert, and today I will show you a bit of this knowledge to help you understand what's going on, to help you to build the strategy. Digital risk protection is part of our ecosystem. It takes a serious part, and our strong feature is that we have inside of our company is threat intelligence and attribution. It's basically the fuel for a lot of our products, which allows us not only to observe and detect some events, but actually track cyber criminals. It's shifting focus from detection of events to eccentric threat actor-centric approach. And that helps also with the digital risk protection. We see how these schemes are working. It's not for us only links, or not only websites, not only screenshots. It's about revealing the full schemes. Starting from history and what the scam was look like 10 years ago in 2010, if you remember, it was mostly emails. They were quite personalized. They have contained some links. It was actually a good touch point to start interacting with the potential victim. And we will come back again to the concept of touch point and starting the journey. These emails were looking sometimes very good, sometimes barely official, sometimes they were using brands. But overall, it's a tool which is still used by a lot of cyber criminals and has quite good results. And it was quite easy those days, because what you only need to access to some mail server and to compose and send email. This is how you could start the scam. After this, the scheme has evolved. There appeared specific fake and scamming websites in the internet, and this required already some level of digital and web skills. You need to buy hosting, you need to register a domain name, You need to attract traffic, and these they were targeted mostly for desktop users because mobile was not trendy at that time. Only 5% of web traffic was generated by mobile users. To attract this traffic, it was SEO, search engine optimization, which were quite expensive, hard, and took a long time. But the good thing for the fraudsters was these websites. They were able to exist for a long time. Advertisement, which is expensive but works quickly, and 3 years takedown system like security systems and services have evolved. By now, we are also even able to take down phishing websites in less than 24 hours. And the ecosystem has evolved. The overall users have evolved. They shifted from desktop to mobile. And right now, 56% of web traffic is generated by mobile users. We usually use our mobile phones every day, every time, like barely can live without it in like 10 minutes, and we use it for everything. But what's a cool thing and interesting thing about it, that actually from this 56, these mobile users, they use the browser web itself only 8% during using their mobile phone. Only 8% they use the website, only 8% they open website, and all the rest time they use application, mobile application inside their phone. This includes not only camera, but also messengers, some social media platform, some documents viewer, and other things. But most of all, as you understand, it's of course social media platforms and messengers, which sometimes are combined into the same thing, like for example Facebook application, Instagram application, which are even basically Facebook and Instagram are the same thing nowadays. And it shifted also the focus of the targeting of the websites. It should be simple, it should be easy to understand, it should not have a lot of details, so the user should see and understand it clearly on his mobile phone, and this is quite efficient. What's the benefits of mobile targeting? First, it's personal. It's really personal because we usually share our PC at home with the family members, and your mobile phone is your own piece of hardware. It's very targeted. It contains a lot of enormous amount of information about you. It has information about your geolocation. It has your history search. It has your preferences taken from social networks. It has the history of your likes. He knows everything about you, and this enormous massive store of data is transferred, sold, bought between advertising agencies. And mobile phone is not only used for everything, like you buy with it, you advertise yourself with it, you watch videos, you do work with the mobile phone. It's the data itself is enriched. You get one piece of data from one application, then next from other, and at the end you know a lot of about the user. It's his gender, his age, his location, his preferences, whatever you need. And right now you can make even very targeted scam campaigns, advertising campaigns. You can focus, for example, on such things as extreme weight loss, for example, and it will be very targeted, very focused if you know your audience. And other thing which is beneficial for mobile advertisement, it's fast decision. People on mobile phone, they mostly do not have time. They want quickly do something. It's the swiping skills from Tinder, maybe something else, but you don't check everything on your mobile phone. You make the decision in 1-2 seconds, and you don't have a lot of options to do some verification. You're in sometimes in transport, in lift, you're running, you're on the meeting, you're doing something else in parallel, you're eating, and you're not focused completely. You have no you can just look at some advertisement, and the easy decision for you is to start or to not, to click or not to click. If we're speaking about social networks, it's even more powerful because it's easy. First of all, you do not need a website, you don't need to attract traffic anymore, you don't need to be a webmaster, you don't need to be an expert in advertising. You can create an account and it's free. It does not require from you some skills. You put there some information about the company, use logo, and it's scalable. You can create dozens of these accounts, and we have seen such attacks. It can be distributed, so even if one account will be shut down by some security, brand protection service, or legal department of the affected brand, a lot of others will still be active. A lot of brands can be used at once. You can see the right example is very cool because it actually is using 3 brands at once. First of them, it's the name of the shop. It's one of the shop in Asia which sells electronic devices. Second is the PS5, Sony PlayStation 5, and of course it's still out of stock. In many places it's hard to get this, and this extra demand is used a lot for the fraudsters. And second, and the last one, the third one, is the Chinese New Year, which is also well appreciated here. A lot of advertisement appears in the network here in Singapore, in China, and all over the Asia. It's very hard to detect because when we have targeting inside, that means that you have fulfill specific requirements. So to see this advertisement, you need to be in Singapore, for example. You need to be at a certain age, and you need to monitor it during a certain period because it usually exists not for a long time in opposition to websites which can survive and be active for like several months, even almost a year. We have seen this one is very fast. They register account, run advertisement, and then out. Next thing, everybody uses mobile applications and advertisement in it, and they use it a lot. It's not a surprise for you anymore when you see something as advertisement inside your application. In Instagram, you scroll everything and you see this. It's absolutely normal. You know that there are legitimate brands which promote their legitimate service. This can be cars, this can be perfume, and this is absolutely normal way to approach your customer. It's not a surprise for you to see something like this. Mostly you will think the official McDonald's, of course you know that they have a Facebook page for McDonald's. Most probably they have dedicated page for Malaysia, and it's possible that they run such advertisement with the people smiling and they celebrate the 37th anniversary and making some giveaway vouchers, only one per household. It's possible, and it's trustworthy. That's why people start to click on it. They have no chance to verify. If at the previous stage we were considering some at least potential opportunity to copy and paste domain name, look for the date of creation of this domain, or maybe look for reviews about this website. Here you can see only name of the account, and the only place where you can click, it's the link it's like what you can do. You can only start your fraudulent journey, and that's what happens here. And it caused damage to the brand. First, it's cause distrust to the brand, because usually what happens if some fake advertisement appears in the social network, people are complaining, they go to forums, then some newspaper is interested, they do some short story, maybe publish screenshots of it, or the police do some action, and there is a big media campaign which sells like this specific brand is under attack in social media, and people see it, and what they do, they think that advertising using this specific brand is not safe anymore. It's better not to click on this, and that means that your original advertisement budgets are spent without any efforts. Your CPE will drop, and it's very hard to get it back. Second is inflation of the ad price, because it's all like a market. It's all about bidding. Is it the Google AdWords or social media? Whoever pays more is viewed the most. So if there are a lot of advertisers on the platform, the price will be higher for everybody. And the last one, it's wrong customer journey. You are building your own customer journey. You are starting to interact, you are pasteurizing your client, you are putting a lot of thoughts, you are providing some experience to him, but fraudster can intercept this and make their own. I will show details about this later. And spending on social network advertising is growing a lot. You can see projection for this year is not even 10%, it's about 20%. More and more is spent, more and more people clicking on this, and that's the evidence, because if companies are spending on this means that this advertising is efficient, and that means it's both efficient for fraudsters and original ones. Speaking about the targeting, how it works, this is a screenshot from original Facebook targeting campaign. How can you start? So first of all, you need only few clicks to start this advertising campaign. Second, you can very easily target it. For example, you need Singapore, you need only men and targeted for banking, investment, lottery. You can place here some specific things, for example, pension, for example, loans, for example, some news which are going in media right now, and find your audience. So potential reach for this specific one is almost 3 million. You can make it more narrow, you can make it wider, you can target, for example, for some fast food lovers or housewives with some houseware brand. And to start this, you need only $10. Estimated daily results will be, so you will reach about 5K people. And if we will calculate, that means that for $1 you got 500 views. And Facebook has only one limitation here. It's $450 for new accounts. And that means that for $500 you can get a quarter of the million impressions, a quarter of the million views which are generated. The same works for the fraudsters. This is quite a lot, and the only thing they will need to get another quarter of million is to create new account, which does not require any investment and can be running quite easily. How it can be used? What I mean by saying that it's financially motivated? What is the target? Or why fraudsters are running this fake advertising? First is data collection. I mean here both phishing, private information. This data can be used for future attacks. For example, here they can collect only email address and the user will trust in it. Next, they can contact him personally in email with some targeted offer. Second is fake promotions. It can redirect people to fake websites. It's very common and the most easy way to use this. It can be redirecting to phishing websites to collect accounts information, to collect bank related information like numbers and security numbers, bank card number and security numbers, secret keywords, or ask to download malware. Information attacks, and we have seen this a lot. Actually, it can be combined when not only fake news, but fake news which leads people to fake investment. For example, it takes Jeff Bezos or some else, Elon Musk, and it says like Elon Musk invested in Bitcoin on this platform and got extreme profit. He revealed his secrets, and then users are redirected to the fake website. Third-party promotion, they can use one brand to promote another brand, to promote their own services, and of course a typical scam when people are asked to pay but gets nothing as a reward back. If we classify this by types, it can be all these, from online shopping to recruiting scam. And for recruiting, it's quite funny thing that a few years ago, maybe still active, but this screenshot is a bit old. But nonetheless, there was a scam campaign in Facebook where it was related to Facebook hiring. And what user sees here? He is in the Facebook application. He sees the Facebook advertisement, which is run by Facebook account, which promoting hiring in Facebook company, which is you can see when liked, shared. People trust this, and it's for the user. It's quite confusing. It's almost impossible situation that on the Facebook you can meet scam on Facebook. You can trust this platform, at least in this thing you think, but actually it's not. Second thing which can be going here, it's contacting and using these fake accounts, fake promotions for social media. This is a screenshot from the Twitter where we have seen for some bank created actually more than 100 fake accounts. These accounts were looking for subscribers of the official group. They were looking for messages in the official group, and when they were targeting or noting that somebody is asking for help, like I cannot access my mobile application, for example, they contacted this user in with personal message and presented themselves like, hi, I'm the official support of this bank. How can I help you? Could you please tell me your number, your PIN, etc. And this is quite complicated attack, which can be and should be detected actually. But it's very wide. It's just a part of the list which were active at one moment. And last year in fall, we have detected a big attack on KitchenAid brand. It was it had an enormous scale. At one moment, there were 200 fake accounts which were targeting audience. All of them were active. All of them were running advertisement. Each of them has its own link. And that means that almost 200 fake pages, fake websites were created. Even if you take down one website, that means all other accounts, all other advertisement will be untouched, will be safe and stable. Each campaign was lasting only 1-2 days, which means it's very hard to detect. And total attack duration, so that means that they were creating new accounts and were running new advertisement more than 6 months. We looked deeply into this and found the counter on the website, which showed the number of visitors. Surprisingly, during this period, the fake website attracted more than 1 million visitors. And the campaign was really worldwide. We have seen this for Australia, for Malaysia, several countries in Europe, in America. It was using, of course, different languages and showing something different. For example, KitchenAid celebrates 10 years in Australia, or something like this. The pictures were a bit different, but all of this is had very good quality, very trustworthy, very accurate, and maybe sometimes there are some mistypes in the name of the brand, but that was done only to confuse and to make the detection hard for the brand protectors, for the guys who were trying to detect this. And recent statistics shows that numbers of scams and dollars which are lost are growing very rapidly. Last year with pandemic gives us understanding that online business, internet, e-commerce is totally fine thing, and a lot of people were isolated on quarantine, and they had no option but start to trust these internet shops, start to make shopping online, and that immediately resulted in the number of cases you can see almost twice. And we are still waiting for the final statistics for Q3 and Q4 for 2020. It's growing very much, and it will be at this level for a long time because business has moved to the web. It's actually what's the last year has shown to us, that it's like offline business can be unstable. It can be put under quarantine. It can be suspended for a while by the government, but online is stable, it's working, nothing happened there. Almost all companies who had business in online, they even increased the numbers. And same numbers of this statistics is for United States, and the same statistics almost similar is for UK. It's totally over 50% of Instagram rise in 2012. So it's a world tendency. Why it happens? Recently at BuzzFeed, there was released a good article which is hitting Facebook quite hard. It tells about how inside, how it works, what's happening there, why it's so popular and it's hard to take down, why it's so much money is spent on Facebook, and so many victims we see. The thing is that actually Facebook does not moderate them themselves. They use third-party employees, they use third-party companies, and none of them, neither Facebook nor this third party, is interested to actually making the Facebook a safer place. They care about Facebook income, they care about numbers of people who can buy and pay for the advertisement. And the only thing which has priority there is something which threatens Facebook itself. For example, paying with fake credit cards or something like these types of scam. And surprisingly, that even these guys who should be responsible for moderating, during the high peak period for demand for the advertisement, during the voting day, Facebook moved them from moderating and reviewing the advertisement in Facebook to sales people, to help people spend as much as possible. They have increased the limits. This $450 that I have demonstrated to you per one account is quite a new thing. And there is an opinion that actually Facebook created financial symbiosis with scammers, hackers, and disinformation peddlers. One case showed that over 50 million was received from a marketing agency who were promoting some investment scams, some hard to cancel subscriptions, and this is understandable because first Facebook has a business and these are their customers. They generate a certain revenue, and Facebook wants to do two things. First, keep the revenue. Second, to keep the white customers safe. They don't want to be mistaken and take down any fake, any illegal advertisement. And second thing, which is hard to see for Facebook and hard to understand, it's because the nature of these is quite tricky. You have seen these accounts, they were looking quite legit. It's maybe a new account created by a marketing agency in KitchenAid, for example, which it may be a legitimate promotion for Chinese New Year. Facebook has no capabilities to check what's going on there. Is this real? Is this not? Who is behind this? And that's quite a sad thing, but that's the real thing which we need to understand to form the strategy to understand what we should do next. What happens behind the Facebook? So the Facebook and these social media platforms, it's actually just the start of the fraudulent journey. And let me show you why it's so hard for Facebook to understand the scheme completely. So this is the fake account which is created, which is looks quite legit. Australia, some people are following, few photos, no suspicious links here, no offer, seems passive. But this account starts to promote, to run advertisement targeting in specific countries and leading to Google. This Forms GLE, it's actually a Google Forms short link. And for Facebook, it looks very legit. Google is legitimate website, correct? And at this stage, you can only judge by the domain name. And specifically, you cannot use the link because each advertisement is using its own link. These Google forms are created in hundreds. This is an example of this Google form. It is on some different language, just to show you an example. It actually does not matter which answers do you use. It will just it's just use it to get some engagement with you, to earn some trust from you, and move you to the next step, because the human psychology works this way that you can only mostly check the first stage. If you like start with this, you can see advertisement looks legit, there is no fraud here, I can click here. Google form looks safe, nobody asks me for money, nobody asks me for some personal information. I can click here and proceed. Then that means that you already have some level of trust to this journey. And then moving further, this is a pre-landing page. This is already a separate website, but still there is no fraud here. There are a lot of some other additional offers, promotions, promises of prizes. And after a few other redirects, you end up with leaving your bank card on some third-party website. It shows you that you only need to pay $4 to get a beautiful Samsung phone, but actually it's not. You're leaving your bank card data. That means that they can charge you as much as they want. The interesting thing here that this website, the last one that I have showed to you, it's not actually direct phishing, because you can see here there is no KitchenAid brand, nothing related to, nothing reminds you about the previous journey. We cannot say that this website is threatening KitchenAid themselves. Actually, this is a payment form on some fake movie cinema or game store or a dating website. These ones, there are a lot of them, and they are very tricky because it looks like a legitimate online cinema or subscription-based service. It offers you to start the trial, but actually no movies inside, no games, no books, no girls. It redirects you to the same form, and this form is specifically done this way. It does not remind you neither about KitchenAid, neither about this gaming store. It's just a landing page to get your bank card data. And it becomes very hard to explain this thing to register or hosting provider, or why this game website is actually phishing and fraudulent, and its only aim and purpose not to show movies, but to get banking card data. There is a whole network of this website. This you can see about 20, but actually there are much more. Most of them are active. And this is screenshot from our threat intelligence and attribution graph. So we were tracking this capturing internet on a daily basis for quite a long time. And we can see they're active. Most of them, usually phishing website exist in the web like for a week maximum, even if nobody is trying to take it down. But these are active more than a year. And this is quite surprising scheme of fraud. Each of them are receiving visitors, each of them are using as a final landing page for victims to get their banking card data and charge them more and more. It's actually quite a little bit deeper scheme, which we call rabbit hole, which includes some other things as maybe contacting the victim through mail and collecting its data, some Instagram promotion, WhatsApp promotion. The core thing here that there are two parts of this. First, it's the beginning of the fraudulent journey, the purple one, and you can see here it's the brand is used everywhere. It makes user to believe in this brand. It makes easy for the fraudster to target that fraudulent company because they know who are the target audience for this. It's if it's like some shaving things, it may be for men's who are above 20. If it's some kitchenware, that may be for women's. If some cosmetics, it's also understandable what should be the offer, what should be their action required from this audience. And after this safe stage where nothing is required, but people are not losing money, where no malware is installed on their devices, victim is redirected to the next stage where attack happens, and there is no brand here, but no need to remind to the victim about this. They already trust this journey, they already started this, they know why they are here, they think that they are here because of some specific brand, and that's where happens phishing, theft of data, and some financial losses, or even they can be asked to download malicious mobile application. In this case, they will lose everything, both data and money. The fraudsters have built their own customer journey. This is the traditional scheme which you may know from marketing courses, from books, and of course it goes very easily. It starts with awareness, findability, and then comes with the actual buying of the goods or service, and may end up it's the best thing with some advocacy. If there is some emotional bond, that means that customer will come back and back, and he will be loyal to you. But fraudsters can intercept this at any stage. They can intercept in social media, they can redirect people when they are just want to buy something, when they consider this, and this all create negative user experience and loss of customers. And there is a quite interesting concept here that right now the goods itself, it's not about the thing that you buy, it's not about material things, it's about the story behind it, it's about the experience that you got with this buying. It's why these brands are putting a lot of efforts about showing that this specific thing is cool, this specific sport apparel will give you the feeling like you're Michael Jordan or you're a professional athlete. It's about loving the thing, it's about feeling something, and it's experience that people are buying, and specifically experience is the thing for which customers are ready to pay more, because right now there are not a lot of difference between the two brands. A lot of companies and brands and products are very similar. It doesn't matter, are we speaking here about perfume, about social net, about some e-marketing, e-commerce website, or some automotive industry. Experience, that what's make the difference, it what's help the customers to make the decision. And if the experience is not good, if it's bad, it will cause to loss of customers. It's the task of business to secure their customers. It's in this digital cyberspace, because Facebook has no ability and no power, no desire to do this thing. It's maybe it's a bit similar, like airlines are caring about safety of their passengers. It's not because they are required by government authorities, not because they are scared about of fines, because that will provide a good customer experience, because that's how they care about customers. How to detect this? If we have discussed that it's quite hard to do this. What can be the signs of the attack? So first, it's newly created accounts with branded user pics and a few posts. In Facebook specifically, you can find information about in the page, it's called page transparency, and you can see when it was created. If the page was created only a few days ago, that looks suspicious. And also you can press the button here, see all, and you can see what advertisement it is running. Is it used for running advertisement? The setting that it will show you only active advertising. So if the advertisement was yesterday, it's impossible to detect this way. Second, and good sign of the attack is accounts with mistypes in the name. Like here, you can see kitchenette, not it, kitchenette. That means this was created on purpose to avoid detection. Next is, of course, consonant domain names, which can be used to attract traffic. A lot of schemes use this as a landing or pre-landing pages, and they should be monitored properly. In many cases, they still allow to visit and open them without a referral link, so you can just open the domain and see the content. So this should be included in the monitoring scope. You can see and find here about some similar activity in the industry. If the similar brand is attacked, that possibly it's not the only one in industry. We have seen this regarding fast food, so it goes together like in a pack. If McDonald's is under attack, same guys are using KFC, Burger King, Pizza Hut, and other brands to attract more users, to make it more focused. Next thing is social media tweets and posts. Social media listening is still a good thing. A lot of people complain in social media about this fake activity and what's going on there. it's good to, it's maybe sometimes it's the only way to find this, because people will not go to the police and they are too lazy to find your official email, but they will post and tell about this to their friends on their page. And the recommendation here is try to understand attack fully. So if you see the only page, only Facebook page or Instagram account, you should try to understand what is used for. Is it attracting traffic, redirecting? Is it contacting people in private? What's the purpose? Stealing money, or just maybe it's a fun page? And that's a good thing to know. Response, how to respond to this setting is the only social media administration can block it. Still, there is no like security provider, there is no police who can just switch off any fake account and prevent it from being active. Still, we need to complain to Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, TikTok administration. They have some forms, they have some dedicated email accounts. We can use some different reasons for this, trademark violations, scam, and this can help. Next thing, the violations may be not active. That means it's hard to find the proof. If the website is not active anymore, then this account from the previous page will be just passive. And to block this, they also need some evidence that this one is used for cybercrime. That's why it's good to have registered trademark, because in that case you can apply to illegal trademark usage on the page, even if you see no activity. If you cannot prove the activity, then you can ask to block the web page because it used the trademark. And visibility of the full scheme from my previous advice helps a lot. In a lot of cases, social media, they are able to listen, they are able to understand, and if you can not only tell but to prove, to provide the information, to share some similar cases, to say like there are hundreds, like tens of accounts which are used for this, this is an ongoing attack, it can help. And the proper approach is, of course, constant monitoring and response. It's very fast and ongoing events, which today account is created, maybe even today it runs fake advertisement, and maybe tomorrow it will be silent. So if you want to prevent it, if you not only want to punish it or follow his steps, you need to detect it the same day and block it. It gives you recovery of web traffic. People will be using official ways to interact with your brand. They will land on your official website. It will naturally increase the revenue, and prevention of future losses. It all goes along with the reputational damage, along with the disruption of the brand, of corruption in this brand positive image in the minds of the customers, because the brand actually is like a green light in the minds of the customer. If they see something, they want to trust it. They think it's a good thing. We bought, for example, a lot of some shoes from this firm, and this is just another offer. And securing this, keeping this stable will help a lot to keep existing customers and reach to the new ones. So to conclude and summarize everything that I have told today. First, the monitoring landscape should be constantly being expanded. New social networks appears, like through recent years, it was TikTok, now Clubhouse, and then fraudsters are using this a lot. They are adopting to the digital landscapes, and we should be also looking for the new tools, for new ways to prevent it, to detect it. We should also, I think, use some marketing in these social networks to see, to at least show that there are official accounts. The common case is where in some social networks there are only one account, which using the brand name, and it's actually fraudulent. That's a sad thing. That means that the user has no chance to understand like is it fake or not. He cannot compare it with the official ones. It's good to build a customer reporting process, so to advise them to report about any illegal activities, about any suspicious activities to you, because sometimes they are the only one, because of this narrow targeting, who will detect these attacks first. Industry is growing very fast, and that means that we need to invest this from the security in this from security perspective as well. The only way to fight with this right now is with the technology. We should be looking with comprehensive view on this and response properly. Global is the new trend. If the brand is global, the attack is not only global, like I can say here, it's distributed. It's use a special account for different countries and use language targeting, some local holidays. So it's important to monitor from different angles and pages and places. These sophisticated attacks may stay below the radar, and it's important to detect them. It's still the same damage. If you think that there are no attack, that doesn't mean that it's actually not happening. They're very fast. They're like one blast for 2 days and then gone. So complete visibility is the only solution here. Partial visibility will help you to solve only one part of the problem, and the other parts of the scheme will still remain untouched, and the fraudsters will profiteer, and the victims will lose money. That's not a solution. You need to see the scheme completely to take massive action against it. Basically, that's all. I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. I will glad to answer to these questions. I see the question, how do you detect this fake advertisement? So one approach is manual that I have shown to you. You can see active advertisement for specific accounts right in the Facebook, but it gives only like a little of visibility, and of course it's manual. You cannot always manually check for account. So in our system we check it automatically. We look for different regions, and that's how we can see it. We store information to investigate later. This is how we can correlate this and review these schemes about hundreds of accounts and hundreds of websites behind this. Next question, is it considered as a scam or a phishing? This is actually quite a tricky question, because it actually looks very much like a phishing, because they use a fake account, they use the brand name, they use the logo type, but the problem is that they use it in the social network, and that's the beginning of the scheme. There is no fraud in the social network itself. The fraud and scam and money stealing happens in a separate website. That means that this website is scam, and Facebook account is only improper usage of the trademark of the intellectual property. We cannot say it's phishing. There is a strict definition of phishing. It's when something, some website is used for getting private and confidential data from users or by mimicking an original website. But as I have shown to you, final website has no brand usage. That's why it's hard to take down sometimes. And that's why I would say it's more like a scam, like a phishing. How long is a typical DRP POC? There are several types which we can offer. It's first, it's scanning to understand what are the purpose, what are the current level of threats, which is ongoing in the social networks, in websites, because during our monitoring we look not only in social media, we try to find websites, phishing websites, and we provide a report. Sometimes it's reasonable even already at this point to start the proper service. And in this case, it takes from 5 days to 2 weeks. Other option is a full service. We can do a month, and that should be discussed if it's reasonable, if it's required. Please contact us after the webinar. We can discuss this properly about what we see, what we can offer, how can we help you, and tailor the solution. Do you partnership with social media campaigns such as Facebook, and does that generally help with a quick reaction time? Yeah, we do. We have sometimes trusted accounts there. We represent as we stay there as company representatives. We provide power of attorney, and that helps a lot. But mostly it's still a very hard job for everybody, because the most common way to report is through providing the information and going to be aligned with their policies. So they have some specific reason to suspend, which are sufficient to suspend the account. And we know from experience how we can report to this. We know that like recently this week, yeah, literally this week, Twitter released a new policy update. They allow it right now to report on hacked materials, and that's another cool thing. And we properly monitor this. We know this journey, how we should report, which information we should provide, and that helps us, of course. Yes. Okay, no more questions. See, if you will have any more, please feel free to contact us. We will be glad to discuss in details to answer to any of your questions. And thank you very much for your attention. Hope you will be safe. One more question. Give me a second. What would you call as the biggest and distinguishing advantage against competitors? I think the biggest is that we are the only company which has this number of cybersecurity services, and one of the few which has threat intelligence, which is really it's the fuel for all our services, how to reveal this, how to see, track these cyber criminals. We have experience not only in taking down on tracking this, we can support with investigation. And recently we did a strong project in Indonesia, which was a combined work of DRP department and investigation. So we were taking down fake accounts, and in the meantime, investigation department was collecting evidences. They were doing their basically investigation job, At the end of these 3 months, almost 1,000 accounts were taken down, and sufficient evidential base was provided to the customer. That's another thing that we can do. Also, we have our own CERT, which helps a lot, and global cooperation, members of FIRST, trust introducer. So a lot of things, choose whatever you like. It's all aimed to provide the best service. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention. Let me know if any more questions are left. Contact me in email. See you on our future webinars.